Hey guys, I hope okay, let me just be myself. I'm gonna just act like we on live, okay? Because a lot of y'all are used to me being on live. Like, y'all used to just me being me. So I ain't even about to sit here and try to be all this, that, and third. Because I'm not this, that, and the third. I may. No, but for real, I hope you guys are just as excited as I am. I am super excited. This will be, not even will, this is one of the first tutorials that I am giving y'all. I wanted to give y'all how to pluck a lace front first because the lace front wig is the first wig I ever worked with. Besides, actually no, my first wig was a flip over wig, but my second lace wig was a lace front wig, which is crazy because a lot of people start off with closures, but y'all, I was actually scared to work with a closure. I was so scared. I don't know what it is. I think it was because like closure sewing was a thing at that time before it was lace front. So I was like, you know what? Let me just try a lace front wig. And at the time, Cliff, he was really popular. I mean, Cliff is popular now. Hold on. Cliff always been popular. But at the time, Cliff was like, he was really big with the lace fronts, with the installs, with the just, everything. He was like one of the first people to come out with that. So I was really inspired by him to do a lace front wig. And I told myself, like, when I make this lace front wig, if it don't look right, I'm gonna just push it behind my hairline and have my hair, like my real hair, out. So yeah, so I already had an idea of what I was gonna do if it did not work out. So I will say, me starting off with the hardest thing ever, that made it a lot easier for me to then go into a closure and start actually plucking the closure like a frontal. Because I remember feeling like, I don't know, like when I first went to a closure, I felt like, well, what did I feel like? There's lace, I can pluck it like a frontal. But anyway, girl, when I first started, yes, I started with a lace front. I started with the hardest thing. And I remember it taking me an hour plus to pluck because them hairlines was thick. Example A. The hairline was thick back in the day. But because I started off hard, it then allowed me to, be able to pluck a closure like it was nothing. So I wanted to start off with a lace front because if I started off with a closure, right, most of these closures are already pre-plucked, and I don't even pluck that much anyway. So I'm like, you know what, let me start off with the hardest thing, because if you start off with the hardest thing, it's going to be, the easier part is going to come easy to you. And with plucking with like more of a fuller hairline, once you get that down pat, like once that comes easy to you, it's gonna come easy to you. So I wanted to start off with how to pluck a lace front wig first. Now this is the wig that we will be plucking. So as you can see, this is the wig that we're gonna be plucking. Okay, this is like semi the end of the video. I mean, this is the beginning, but the end, just to show y'all what we want to be doing. So let me show y'all the products that you're going to need. Okay, so first things first, a hot comb. You're going to need a hot comb. Listen, if you do wigs and you don't have a hot comb, what's going on? Like, you have to have a hot comb. So hot comb is so big without, would just make a waste period. Now this is a hot comb that I sell. I do also have this available in Hottie Hot Pink, Baddie Black, and this is Sassy Princess Silver. But by the time you watch this video, it's only going to be Sassy Princess Silver available because the other ones is running low. Okay, so if you're watching this now, get it while you can. But this is my hot comb. I've been selling this hot comb since 2020 and it's 2025, so 5 years I've been selling this hot comb. I sold over 4,000 units. It's a lot of people that have these, a lot of wig styles that have these, and if you do, thank you so much. It's very much appreciated. But one thing about my hot comb is it goes up to 500 degrees. Now you don't have to have it at 500 degrees, okay, because there's 20 different heated settings, so you can lower down, you can lower down the temperature right here, okay? And as a beginner, I don't recommend that you start out with 500 because if you don't know what you're doing, you can very much melt the lace, okay? If you like not knowing what you're doing. But in these tutorials, I'll be showing you how to work it. So you're going to need a hot comb and then this product right here, okay? This product is responsible for getting all my wigs down flat. This is the Wigs by Bone Spray, and I've been selling this for 5 years as well. I sold a lot of units of this. Now this is like a replacement of a wax stick. So instead of, so I personally don't like using wax sticks all around the wig because it makes the hair really greasy and oily at the top. And then over time, like, because some wax sticks will be super greasy. Over time, now the front of my hair is stringy. Now it just looks stringy and I'm annoyed. Like, so I knew that I wanted something that wasn't going to be like that. So I used to use spritz. Now, if you don't have my product, you can use spritz. However, spritz is going to make your top real hard and crunchy. This is not. This is not. So this is like it's a strong but light hold. It's not going to make the top of your hair crunchy. It's not going to leave any residue. It's going to melt. It's not melt. It's going to like lay it down instantly once you put the hot comb. So you will going to need this. Now in the video, you are going to see me use a little bit of wax stick, only because my product is not, there's no like oils in it. So it's not going to get your hair greasy or anything. But I do like a little bit of the grease, just a little bit of the grease. A little bit. Like when we get to tutorial, you won't see me just dab, like only a little bit. I don't like to use it throughout the hair. So I will be using a little bit of this Carol waxing. And I literally had this one all year. I have not had to buy a new one. That's how much I don't use it. Okay. These is the tweezers that I've been using since I first started. This is Almine tweezers. Now I got this from my local beauty supply store and I have not found it since. Now I will be linking all the products down below, but the Almine, I've been holding, like these have been the same tweezers since I was in Jersey. I really need to get new ones because when you use tweezers, they do start to wear off a little bit after some time. But I will say these ones is really sharp. They're really sharp. So if you are switching from the other ones to these ones, you really want to be careful. Don't be too heavy with plucking. But these are the tweezers I'm going to be using. This mousse is what I use to lay down the flyaways at the end. You'll see that towards the end. Yeah, I think that's it. I'm going to link everything. Now, if you are watching this video, you will get a discount with my molding spray. Okay, so make sure you use the code right here. I'll be honest, I haven't figured out what the code is, but it's right here. By the time I edit it, it's right here. Okay. Other than that, I hope you guys enjoy the video, and I really want to hear y'all feedback. Seriously, I really want to hear y'all feedback. I want to feel like we're on live again. And if you're new here, hey girl. And yeah, super excited. Okay, y'all, let's get into the tutorial. Okay, so this is the frontal we're going to be working with. Now this is a 13 by 6. So all that means is 13 inches going across and then 6 inches going back. Now there's some frontals where it's like a 13 by 4 and it's 13 inches across and 4 inches going back. But I like the 13 by 6 because you have a lot of more parting space to part it. If you want it middle or side, it will be a lot deeper. First thing that's very important is lining up the frontal on the canvas head. Now the canvas head has 3 different lines, but we really want to focus on this middle line right here because we want to make sure that we line the frontal exactly in the middle. So how you can notice if where the frontal middle is you kind of see like a little like dips. Hold on. You kind of see some dips right here. Most frontals will have like a dip and then it goes in right here. And we want to make sure we line it up in the middle. And that is super important because when you're actually putting the frontal on your head, you want it to be even. So like you don't want to just put it on like this and then one side is longer than the other. Okay, and then the other side vice versa. You want it to be right in the middle. So I'm going to bring it down, and like I said, there's normally like a dip here. You can actually see it right there, and you want to place it in the middle just as much as you can. So I would say right here is the middle. And one way to figure out if it's in the middle is once you pin the sides. So I'm going to take a pin, I'm going to pin it right in the middle. So you're going to be doing a middle part, but whether you're doing a middle or a side part, you still want it to be on the middle. And then we're going to pin the other side right here. Kind of like to pin it where it's like flat enough, like that. And then we're going to pin the other side. Try not to pin it on the hairline because you don't want to have a hole there. Okay, so as you can see, this is in the middle because both of these sides are even. They're both even. So this is how we know we're in the middle. And then you can also see the dip hairline. So and it dips here, then it goes in, and then it dips there. Okay? So now the first thing you want to do is grab your hot comb. So the first thing we're going to do is push all of the hair back. Because as you can see, it kind of looks crazy right now. But yeah, it kind of looks all crazy in the way we want to push the hairline back. So I'm going to take the hot comb. I have it placed on 500. It's actually still heating. But one thing about my hot comb that I love is that you don't have to have it at 500 degrees. You can have it There's 20 different heating settings. So if you're like new, I would do it at like 450 or 400. But I will say the less the heat, the more you have to kind of take your time with laying it down flat. Because like the higher the heat, you can lay it flat more faster. So I'm just gonna push this back. We're just pushing the hairline back.
I also forgot to mention, I like to pluck the hairline while it's dry, because if you were to wet the whole entire wig, it will look super thin, right? But when the hair is dry, you're able to see all of the hair. I remember plucking it wet and it looked like I was doing something until it dried, and then all the hair came back up, and then I realized I needed to pluck more. So that is why I like to pluck dry, because I see exactly what I need to pluck.
I'm going to show y'all two different techniques with the plucking. One of them is going to be, I'm going to start on this side, and this side I'm going to do for like very, very beginners, like people who like beginners. And the reason for that is, the reason why I'm going to do it two different ways, because the beginner side is the safe side, and you're going to see once I go in. And then this side is how I would normally do it, but I started off with the beginner side until I was able to, you know, understand, like, just to be more careful and do it on this side. These are my favorite tweezers. These are Almine. Link them down below so then you can purchase them as well. But I like the pointy ones. Now, I just like these because I feel like it just takes out more hair. So these are the tweezers that I like to use. And again, they're called Almine, and I got them from my local beauty supply store. When plucking a hairline, a frontal hairline, the goal is to make it look like a real hairline, right? So the goal is to pluck out the hair. Now, as you can see here, right? Now this is like lightly pre-plucked. As you can see, directly in the front is lighter than the back. So that means that there's less hair here than it is back here. So that means it's more dense. So the goal is to pluck where it's dark, so then it becomes lighter. Now, because this front is light, right? As a beginner, I do not recommend that you just go straight in and just start plucking, because if you do that, you're going to get rid of the hairline and it's going to begin to push back. We don't want to do that. We don't want to push the hairline back. So that is why, as a beginner, I always recommend that you just save this hairline. And this is kind of like a just in case. You're just going to save this hairline and you're just going to put this forward. That way, whenever you're plucking, you know you still have this hairline. You still have this hair. So that's why I recommend, as a beginner, that you just take out a clean line of hair and just leave it here in the front. So now, like I said, the goal is to pluck where it's dark. Now, when it's getting lighter, that means it's less hair. Now, we all know what a bald spot looks like. It's just extremely light, like it's bald, right? We don't want to do that. We want to lessen up the density of the hair. So now, there's no specific technique on actually plucking out the hair. But I will say, do not, okay? You don't want to be pressing the tweezer against the canvas head, because when you're pressing against it, that means you're going to be pulling on a lace. You don't want to pull on a lace. So you have to be very fragile in this area, okay? What I'm going to do is I'm going to push this back. I'm actually going to separate this hair with the heat. So I'm kind of pushing it forward, and then I'm pushing this back. And then I'm just going to begin plucking. So what I like to do is I like to start here. I like to do in sections. So I like to start here and work my way up here. Okay, so I like to kind of do it in sections. So I'm just plucking where it is dark. So pluck, and I'm moving. As I'm plucking, I'm moving up. I'm not staying in one spot. I'm moving up. Because the goal is, right, we're trying to get this dense. I go up like that, and as you can see, it's already beginning to look lighter. It's already beginning to look lighter. So I'm going to start back here, pluck, and I'm working my way up. and I'm just plucking. Me personally, I don't like to do the fork. Sometimes I see the people do fork method. I don't like that because in between, like, you're making some sections bald. Me personally, I don't like that. I like to have more of a gradual look, a gradual effect. But you can already start to see that it's getting lighter. So I'm gonna start back here and pluck. You can see, and look how good that's looking already. Now, you can, I'm gonna still keep plucking, but one thing I will say as a wig maker, I don't like to over pluck my frontals. So you know when some people, like, they'll go like this and they'll go in and they keep plucking back. I personally don't like to do that because I don't like to take too much hair out. And as someone who makes wigs for other customers, I like to do it just enough to where it's plucked, and if they want to go in, they can go back in on their own. But this is what I mean by you want to know how you want your hairline to look. If you want excessive plucking, if you want more like less plucking, I mean less of a thicker hairline, then you'll go in and pluck. But for me, this is kind of like how I pluck as like a wig maker that's shipping out to my customers. So I never like to do too much. I'm going to go into where it's a little darker. So over here is a little darker. So I'm going to go in, pluck. I'm not saying in the same spot. I like to just keep going up. You see? And then if I had to choose a spot that's darker, it would be right here. This has more hair, so I'm going to pluck there. Like that. So I like more of a gradual. So I'm just going to keep going up and plucking. Like that. Now, like I said, if you want to go in and pluck more, you definitely can. But me personally, I don't like it to be too much. But if I had to go in and pluck some more, I'll pluck right here because it's a little darker. And you're gonna comb out. So right here, I'm pretty satisfied with this section. So now I'm going to keep going up by taking out the very front of this hairline. Just separating, because this is our just in case. Because when I do push this back, there is still more plucking to do. So you'll see. So now we're going to push this back, and you can see like where I plucked is lighter compared to where I haven't plucked yet. Like I said, I'm just separating this. So now I'm gonna go in, this is where I ended, and I'm just gonna keep going, working my way up. Plug. And goal is we're just trying to make this lighter. We don't want it to be dark. But as you can see, I'm working my way up. So we're not staying in one spot. But this area is a little darker. I'm gonna go in and pluck that. And you can see it's lighter here. We're gonna go in where it's dark. Now, I do want to pause real quick, and because I forgot to say this. So we're doing a middle part, right? Well, I'm going to be doing, this wig is going to be in the middle part. You never, never, never want to pluck where you want your part to be at. Never. So if you was to do a side part, you want to leave space to where you're doing the side part. So that means I'm doing a middle. So I'm going to stop plucking about right here. That's where I'm going to stop plucking. I'm going to stop plucking right here because a lot of times people will pluck the whole thing, and then by the time you want to do your part, it's bald there. It's like bald right in the center, and then the part don't start till like right here because you pluck the whole entire thing. So you never want to start plucking where your part is. And if you're someone that maybe forgets that, maybe you want to do your part first and then go on and pluck. But like I said, like if I was to do a side part, right? Now this isn't too bad because I didn't pluck too much. No, actually, yeah. Look at that. You see how right there, like It's kind of a little bit of space here. I mean, it can be cleaned up, but that's why like I never like to pluck where I want my part to be at. So now I'm going to keep going because as you can see, it's light here, but it's dark here. I'm not staying in one spot. I just keep going. And that's where I'm going to stop right there because I'm going to be doing the middle part. And I'm just plucking wherever it's dark. Like that. So now you can see, and honestly, I would even just begin plucking just a little more over here. Just where it's dark. So this is dark and that's dark. And we're just lighting it up. Like as you're plucking, it gets more lighter. That means the hair is coming out. Like that. Okay. Now that we have this all plucked and I got it to where I want it to look like. Like I said, I don't like to have too much. I think this is actually a perfect natural hairline. But remember this hair that we took out? This was the just in case. Because a lot of beginners, like I said, just go in and start plucking and then that pushes the hairline back. And even like say if you was to make a little bit of a bald spot, you still have this just in case right here. So now I can push this back and now my hairline still, like it still looks full. Okay, but you could see how I plucked it. Okay, you can still see that it's plucked, especially compared to this side. This side is still a little thick, but this side is plucked. However, though, we are going to go, I am going to show you now that you have this pushed back. We don't want to keep this line right here. We want to get rid of this line over here. So I'm going to push the hairline back. The hot comb, it's on 500 degrees now. Now, mind you, I'm still not worried about this part right here. We're not worried about that. But we're going to push it back. Now, we don't want this line right here. So now the goal is to now make it look more gradual. So we want to get rid of this line. So how you're going to do that, and now this is the part you really got to be careful. How you're going to do that is we're going to pluck directly in front of this line. And we're going to kind of skip over. And what I'm doing right now is I'm making it more gradual. Like I'm cutting in between the line and making it more gradual. So we're only plucking directly in front of this hairline. And I'm plucking out directly in front of this hairline. And you can already see the difference between here and how this looks more, what's the word? More uniform. This look more uniform. We don't want it to be uniform. Okay, so I'm going to start down here again. I'm plucking directly in front because we want it to look more zigzag. Our hairlines aren't super perfect. And so now it's like we kind of broke that line and you can see the difference between here and here. So now we're going to start there and pluck directly in front of this line. Now it's looking more gradual from here compared to here. I'm going to keep going. And I'm lightly pulling. Not pulling too hard. Now, like I said, I'm going to stop. I'm not going to pluck over here because we want to do our part. But look at that. But now, okay, sometimes when you first start plucking, you may not get it right away. Because now I'm noticing, right, this is all light. I'm noticing it's still a little darker up here. Still a little darker. So I'm actually just going to go in. And I'm going to pluck where that area where it's dark. You see that? This right here, this area is dark. So I'm going in, plucking. kind of coming in here in the back. I got my tweezers in the back of the hairline to where it is dark. Okay, so now I'm pretty satisfied with this side. Okay, so you don't see that uniform line compared to this side. This side looks really uniform. This side looks more gradual. Uniform, gradual. Now, on this side, I'm gonna show y'all how I pluck now. Now it's not too much of a difference. The only thing is I just don't put that hairline in the front like that. I don't take out a little bit of that hairline at all. I actually just kind of pluck, like go in and start plucking behind the hairline. Now, for some reason on this side, I like to do it on my lap. I don't know, it just feels weird like plucking it the other side like this. So I like to do it on my lap. But now I'm just plucking right behind the hairline. I'm gonna start over here because again, I'm doing this middle part. So instead of taking that hair, I just like to pluck directly behind it like that. Just directly behind. And like I said, I'm not staying in one direction. I'm going from one side to the other while staying in that section. And I like to have it, this is why I like to do it this way, because I can push the hairline back. I can push the hairline back and I can see exactly how I want it to look. So I'm plucking the hairline exactly as if it was pushed back. Like, I feel like I just have more of a visual like this. And as you can see, I'm plucking here. I'm not plucking here. I'm plucking back here. As you can see, this area is lighter than this. Like where it's dark. Look at that. I just feel like I can see exactly what I'm doing. But as you can see, this hairline right here is still uniform because we're not touching that right now. Okay. So now let me come on over here. Plucking right behind the hairline. Oops. As long as you get the objective, like plucking where it's dark, pluck where it's dark, and lighten it up. Pluck where it's dark. We're back here with it. And keep going down. It's looking good so far. Pluck where it is dark. Look at that. Now, as you can see, this area right here is light. That's light. I don't need to keep plucking right there. Right here is dark. I'll pluck there. And then just keep going all the way down. Okay, so look how that looks. Now it's time to go in and fix that uniform look because we don't want that. So I actually push this like that, and I'm gonna actually stand up. Hold on. And I'm gonna have this on here just so y'all can like really see. So I said this area is it's so hard to do this side, but I gotta stand up. So I'm plucking directly in the front. We are getting rid of that line. Getting rid of this uniform line. Like that. We're going up here. And as you can see, it looks way more gradual than uniform. And that is how you'll pluck a natural hairline like that, very natural. So I just plucked the middle part. Now I know you guys are probably wondering, oh, you didn't show us that. That's because this video is about plucking and laying a frontal. So if you want to see how I pluck the middle part, you're gonna have to go to my how to pluck a middle part video. If you're watching this when I first released this, it's probably not out just yet, but if you're watching after, then you'll go to how to pluck a middle part, because come on, that middle part eats. That middle part goes crazy. Like, that's all natural, no spray. Okay, and like I said, I will teach you guys that as well, but this is about laying down a frontal. So now that the middle part is plucked, as you can see, that middle part is clean from the beginning to the end. Literally from the beginning. There's no bald spots here. There's no bald spot. It actually kind of looks like a widow's peak. Now, if you want to keep it like this, you can. However, after I do my part is when I will go in and then pluck around that part. Okay? So I'm going to push this back. Take the hot comb. Push this back. And now we are going to pluck around it. So this is where I like to push it all back so I can see exactly what I'm looking at. And now I'm just going to lightly pluck around it. Okay, we're not getting too close. Just lightly plucking around. You don't want to get too close. And like I said, we're lightening up this area. Okay, so right here is dark. We're just gonna lighten up that a little bit. Here, lighten it up. I'm even gonna go in front of the hairline just so it's not defined. I'm gonna get a little closer to this part. As you can see, look at that. And then the same thing on this side, lightening up this part right here. And we're plucking around it. So I'm just gonna kind of move the hair this way. Just pluck more right here. Lightly, there we go. And I'm gonna pluck more directly in front of this hairline, like that. So it can be gradual. Same thing over here, plucking directly in front of the hairline, very lightly. I'm gonna kind of shift the hair this way just so I can see. Pluck where it is dark. Around. I'm being very light too. And that is how I would pluck the hairline, while I still have this nice straight middle part directly in the middle. So now it is time to lay the wig down flat. So I'm gonna comb out all of the hair that I plucked. That. And what I'm gonna do now is I'm going to push the hairline back with my molding spray. I'm not going to spray too close because you don't need too much. I'm going to spray directly back here and just let it mist. I'm going to take my hot comb and I'm going to push it back. Now when I'm pushing back, I'm really using the back of this hot comb to press it down. So it's going to go through with the combs and I'm pressing with the back hot comb. Look at that. Up here. And we pushed it back. On this side, I'm going to spray. We're going to push it back. Look how nice that hairline looks. Okay, so now we have the hairline pushed back and this hairline looks so good. It's not too over plucked, not even too, it's not over plucked at all. It looks really good, really gradual. So now we're going to begin laying down the back, laying down the whole thing. So I like to start from the back, and wherever I stop plucking is where I'm going to begin parting the hair. So I stop plucking here. I stop plucking the part around here. I don't like to go too far back, but I stop plucking here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the rat tooth comb, and it's really important that your sections are clean, okay? So I'm going to take the comb and I'm going to dig through here, okay? And I'm going to separate the hair, but we want this to be straight, okay? I'm not going to just start doing it from right there. No, we want this to be really clean, okay? So to do it clean is you really want to dig that rat tooth comb through. Now I'm only going from right here because we don't need to go all the way down. We're kind of gonna do that once we get to the sides. But as you can see now, this is like a clean line. So now I'm going to take the molding spray. I'm going to spray in that area. You don't need too much. I'm going to spray. You're going to dig the hot comb through and it's going to lay down instantly. Like that. And it's laid. Now look how flat that is. You're going to see the, this is actually a medium cap. So you're going to kind of see it bulge up a little bit just because this wig cap is kind of bigger for the mannequin. But that is totally okay. So I'm going to go on the other side, make a straight line. From here, I actually kind of went a little farther over here. I'm probably going to go a little farther down the other side again. So we want it to be nice, clean, and straight. And nice, clean, and straight, okay? So again, we're going to spray. And then we're going to lay. Going through and I'm pressing down like that. So now we have this whole back laid down. It's a nice straight line and it's clean. Look at that. I love that the molding spray gives it like a light shine to it. So now we are going to start on this side and we're going to start here, up here. And I kind of like to go in an angle up. Like that, kind of like an angle. So just up like that. And we're gonna lay this down flat. Don't need too much spray. We're just going to lay it kind of going back. Like I said, if you see it bulging a little bit, it will of course lay flat on your head. So again, we're gonna go across here. We're gonna spray and then lay. And look at that, like it instantly lays it down flat. And you want to keep pressing until it's flat. Look at that, nice and flat. We're just gonna keep working our way up. I always recommend that you do this in sections because that's how you're going to have it flat when you do it in sections. Spray and lay. Here. Spray. So now we're coming up to the top, and this is where the wax stick is going to come in. Now, like I said, I don't like to use a wax stick all around because then it will just be extremely greasy, and I don't like that. That's why I created the molding spray. However, I do like a little bit of grease, just a little bit, and that's where I do it at the top. I don't like to do it all throughout. So at the very top here, okay, make sure all of the hair is separated. I just like to kind of dab it just a little bit, and then I'll still spray because I like that little bit of the grease that it gives it. Then we're going to lay. I'm really pressing down. Really pressing down hard because we wanted to get it as flat as possible. And look at that. That is like super, super flat. Compared to the other side. Now, granted, I did flatten this out right here, but this is like super flat. So now you're just gonna repeat the same thing on the other side. Okay, so now that we have both sides laid, I'm gonna go back in and push this hairline back. Now, the first time we pushed the hairline back, it was just to see, you know, how we like it, just to, you know, just to press it out. But now we're gonna go back in and press it out. I'm going to go with my molding spray again, lightly, and then I'm just gonna dab the wax. Just dab, not too much. Like I said, I don't like it to be too much. So we're just gonna push this back again. Like that. Same thing on this side. We're gonna spray, and we're just gonna dab. We just want a little bit of that wax, not too much. Push this back. I actually need to spray just a little bit right there. Okay, so now that the hairline is all pushed back, we're going to take that molding spray again and spray it directly at the top, because now we're going to lay the top down. Because you don't want your hairline to just be back like that. We're actually going to go in and lay it down flat like that. Just that top. Go in here. lay it down flat. Look at that perfect hairline. This is literally perfect. It's not too much. It's a natural hairline. Let me actually bring this light down. It's a very natural hairline. Let's get to the other side. Look at that. That is perfect. So I'm gonna put this on the mannequin head just so we can clean it up now. And there is no holes plucked. And if there was a hole plucked, I would most likely let my customer know and change out the frontal, because I don't do that. I don't even play like that. Wow. Are y'all seeing what I'm seeing? Like the lace, the hairline, the parts. It's so perfect. You really got to be careful when it comes to pinning these frontals. You don't really want to pin it directly on the hairline. So I have it right in front of the hairline. And I don't even like to go all the way through. You can see it's some left. So now we're just gonna clean it up. This is how I kind of like to get it picture perfect. So since I laid it flat on that canvas head, that's a square, now it's time that I lay it flat on here because it's kind of up a little bit on the sides. You can see, I don't know if you can tell, but I sure can. So I'm just gonna go in now and just lay it down flat again. Because like I said, we do this on the canvas head, which looks like a square. So once it's like on the actual head, it's important that you lay it flat there. But every time after I lay the wig down flat, I always have to do the finishing touches, especially when I'm taking pictures. Like, pictures gotta be picture perfect. Okay. Let's continue laying this flat. Now, in every wig, it's totally normal to have flyaways, but how I get rid of those flyaways is I like to take the Lotta Body mousse and I just lay it on the flyaways and it lays them down. And it also just adds a nice shine to it. And then I'll just go in with my molding spray just to kind of seal it. And yeah, y'all, that is how you would pluck a frontal. This wig looks so good. Look at his hairline. Like, this is just such a natural hairline. It's not too much. It's actually just perfect. And this is enough to send out to the customer. And if she wants to go in and pluck it more, she can. But honestly, this looks like so perfect. Look at that. Wow. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you like. And if you haven't subscribed, make sure you do that as well. That would mean so much for me as I'm doing this for you. It would mean so much if you can do that for me. And also, leave me a review. And if you end up doing this, I would love to see y'all actually send pictures of the finished look. And yeah. Bye, y'all.